Greetings out there in YouTube land. This is Morris, man. As always, I thank you for coming to my channel. Forgive me, I'm in the washroom. And the reason why I'm in the washroom is much more light here. It's dark outside now, so try to get as much light into that camera as possible because light is a camera's best friend. I'm entitling this video another interesting eBay story because every now and then you run across some interesting stories that you want to share. And I was on eBay looking for an acoustic guitar because I'm going to start doing more acoustical stuff in the near future. Even though I have two other acoustic guitars, I thought it'd be fit to add at least two more to my setup because what my acoustic setup is, I got different sets of strings on different guitars. For my big guitar, I got kind of really heavy gauge strings because the sound projects much better. On my Ovation, it's lighter, or should I say my Applause is a little lighter because I want to move up and down the neck. And then the next guitar might have a different set of gauge strings too. Because the reason why, I have the reason why I have heavy gauge strings on one of them is, again, the tone is much thicker. But the problem is when they're real thick, it's hard to move up and down that neck unless you're just playing open chord folk songs and stuff of that nature. You're all good. But once you move past the fourth fret, you down here struggling with the big old thick strings. But anyway, so I found the guitar, an Ovation, and the issue with the Ovations is this: most of them, after a couple of years, they crack. Because the one that I bought a couple of years ago that I got in here now, it cracked a few years ago. The guy sold it to me, it was cracked. But it really didn't affect the sound. And this one is cracked too, so I got a decent price on it. So I did the deal with the guy, and he wanted $50 shipping. I'm like, no problem. So, it was an eBay deal, sent them all the money. So, the guitar was shipped, and then it said estimated date the 14th, which was last Friday. So I waited. I'm looking at the track. I'm like, there's no way that it's going to get here within that time because there hasn't been any movement in a couple of days. Because I've been watching tracking for several years now. When I ship you guys guitars, when I get them, when I send out, my DVD bundles. So, it's kind of interesting to watch the package as it moves across the country. So, it had stopped for a moment. So, I'm not making a big deal because it didn't show up Friday, didn't show up Saturday. I'm like, okay, it should be here by Monday. Because normally, if they off by a day, the next day they could show up. So here it is Monday. Well, actually, it's a Tuesday now. But anyway, so here it is. Damn, is it Monday? It's Tuesday. I'm getting old. So, yeah, so here it is. It's Tuesday, and the guitar still haven't gotten here. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? So what I noticed, again, because I watch the tracking quite regularly, what I noticed is this, especially when it comes to the United States Post, because they're usually on time with everything. What I noticed is when a package has not been scanned within 48 hours, meaning that it left its destination, it got here, they scanned it, it's somewhere sitting. It has not moved. It's not moving. So I contacted the guy. I said, I hate to be a bother, but you might want to call the post office because there has not been a scan on this item since the 12th of December. So it's somewhere for 5 days sitting. It ain't moving. So basically what he did was he's being real lazy. He looked at the track and basically gave me the same information that I'm looking at and I know of. He said, yes, in Wisconsin right now. And, it's on the way. No, it hasn't moved in 5 days. So you need to call them. So I was quite disappointed that he didn't take the initiative to call them. He just read off the track and then just regurgitated what was up there, which I already know. Because I'm like, my issue is, and I know it's the holiday and things moving slowly as far as carrier-wise, my issue is the fact that it hasn't been scanned within the last 5 days, which means it's not moving. If it's moving at a snail's pace every 2 days, I see it move. I'm like, okay, I'll wait. But I'm like, I've seen this before and it's not moving and there's a reason why. And you need to find out the reason why. So I contacted the post office, my local one, because, I'm on a first name basis with everybody. Everybody knows me because I'm in there at least 3 days out of the week shipping you guys guitars or shipping you guys DVD bundles. So, or picking up guitars. So I contacted the supervisor and I said, I'm having a problem with this particular package because it hasn't moved in 5 days. And she looked, she said, yeah, you're right. And then she painted a picture to me and it made sense. She said, it looks like it's in a warehouse. And she said, just picture, a big old warehouse with a bunch of boxes. And they haven't been scanned yet. They're just sitting there, So she gave me some information that was pretty interesting, and then I put the pieces together because I said, you know what? And she mentioned it, and that's what triggered this information. She said, yeah, it should be moving since it's supposed to be priority. I said, yeah, because I pay $50. You know, normally when you pay, you know, for priority, you get it within 5 days, you know, 5 or 6 days, give or take a day or two. She said, but the guy only paid $15 and he didn't ship it priority. He shipped it the lowest that he can go, as low as it can go without before there's no tracking. So he had to provide tracking for PayPal purposes to make sure it protects him, to say, hey, I did send it, he got it, or to protect me, hey, I didn't get it. So he chose the cheapest rate, and it was only $15. So then when she told me that, the light bulb went off my head. I'm like, I gave this dude $50 damn dollars, and he kept $35 and shipped it off at $15. Because, you know, it's a guesstimate when I ship or anybody ship a guitar to you. You don't know exactly how much it costs until you take it up there and weigh it. But since I've been doing this so long, I'm normally off no more than about $5 or $6. And when it's over $5, say for instance, you pay me for it and it was $30, I send the $10 back because I'm like, you know, it only costs you $30, so why am I going to pocket your $10? Because again, when it's like $5, most people don't say it's not a big deal. Even for me, when it's like when it's over $10 or it's $10, I'm like, it's not a big deal. I ain't going to trip on that. But when it's $20, $25, $30, $35, dude, now you're ripping me off. So I was quite pissed at that because I'm like, if the guitar would have moved in a timely manner, it would have made no bones about it. Because what the post office does now, and they just started this about 2 years ago, I take a package to the post office, a guitar, and then they give me the price. Or I tell them how I want it. Priority, you know, signature required, which I do on all of them, signature required, priority. And then I choose between the categories as far as where you get there in 4 days or you can get there in 2 days. So you pick whichever. And once you pick it, they print out the label, and now the label has the price that you pay to ship it on the label. 3 years ago, they didn't have that. So now you have a reference to say this is how much it costs the seller to ship it. So I'm like saying to myself, how did he think he was going to get away with $35? Because when he came to me and I see $15, and now since it's moving at a snail's pace, you know, I'm like, come on, dude. You know, how do you think he was going to get away with keeping $35? So I gave him the appropriate feedback, and it wasn't that I was trying to be, what's the word? Get even with him or be spiteful. It was not that. It was business, and I gave accurate feedback accordingly. You know, I gave him negative feedback because I'm like, come on, dude. Once you decide you're going to send it the cheapest you can, and then you pocket my money, I should have got my money back. And I think the purpose of him sending it so cheap was to keep the money. You know, because again, when you guys pay me for shipping, all that money goes towards shipping. If it's $10 more, under, you know, I send it back. If it's $10 more, I send you guys an email and say, hey, I anticipate or estimated 40, but it was 50, you know, and then I send you a picture of the receipt. And 99.9 of you guys send me the balance, which I appreciate because we all try to be honest here, you know. So I was quite pissed because I'm like, you know, you think you're going to keep $35 of my money, and then you send it at such a slow rate that it's going to take 2.5 weeks for it to get here when it normally takes no more than under a week. You know, so I thought I would share that information or the story with you guys because I contacted PayPal and I explained the situation. I said, I paid $50. I haven't gotten my item yet. Estimation was the 14th. Here it is Tuesday, you know, the 18th or the 19th. And he kept $35. And she said, well, you can basically, first, if you want, you can just send him an email and say, hey, I see there was a difference. Can I get my money back? I'm like, I'm not even going to do that because I already know he's not going to send it after I give him that negative feedback. I'm sure he's quite salty now. And I'm like, I'm at this point where keep the $35 because I hope the $35 is worth you getting negative feedback for an entire year. You know, because feedback now on eBay is extremely important. If I read feedback on a potential seller that I'm going to buy something from and I see some really bad stuff, I'm going to keep my money. I'm going to keep it moving. You know, so I'm like, what you just did was really not worth the $35, but I hope that you think that it was. So they told me that if it doesn't show within the next 3 days, which I'm sure it won't, I can file a haven't received item yet and just get my money back and send the guitar back. I said, you know what? I do want to keep the guitar. It was a good price. So you know what? It's not a big deal as long as I get it. and I'm just going to end up, like I said, I had to send him negative feedback. And that's not something that I normally like to do. Unfortunately, within the last 2 years, I have sent more negative feedback than the 20 years I've been on eBay. Because I'm not one of them people that every little thing that you don't do right, I'm going to try to get you. And I'm like, no, I'm like, we all humans, we make mistakes, and it's not a big deal in some instances, but $35 is a lot of money that you think you're going to keep for absolutely free. It's like, come on, man, that's really dishonest. It's not good business. $5 or $10, I would have not made a big deal. Even if it would have showed up within a timely manner, I would have not made a big deal about the $35 then. Some people would have. I'm like, I got a good deal on the guitar, and most likely I'll be happy when it shows up. So, but I just thought I would share this with you guys. There's some people, on eBay that think that they're going to pocket that kind of money, and it's not going to be a big deal to you. And you ain't going to notice it when that package comes and say it was only $15 that was sent or paid from the seller, and you just spent $50 on shipping. It's like, that's not right, man. It's bogus. Till next time, take care. Thanks for watching.